What's up, guys? Tim in the North back with another AoE2 ranked match. Oops, sorry about that. Today we're on Arabia. Nictebius, I'm sorry. I completely butchered that, and I'm not going to try to pronounce it again, but we'll say my opponent in blue, playing as the Magyars, and I as the Franks. Gonna give us a little bit of a speed boost here. So, yep, early scouting. This is something I've definitely gotten better at. Not using capture age, but scouting. I'm definitely feeling a little bit more comfortable scouting using the goats and stuff. So yeah, I feel better there. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the map. Playing as the Franks, this is my continued approach of trying to start the game with an early scout rush, and I've had a lot of success with it on Arabia. Now, I can't remember much about this match. It's 3 weeks ago from now, which I'm glad Capture Age is still able to... Oh my god. I'm glad Capture Age is still able to show older recordings. I think they did do a patch so that, you know, it's not an issue. So, but again, thank you, Capture Age. So yeah, I have terrible hunt here. I'm going back around hoping that, you know, maybe my hunt is actually somewhere else and that's like another mid range hunt, and that wasn't the case. So bringing in the second elephant, my opponent is scouting around. 6 on wood. It's a lot of choppa there for Dark Age. Sure, be floating a lot of wood there. We'll come back to that. Anyway, yeah, so, you know, I try to push hunt. Yeah, I'm going back to trying to push the hunt again. This guy's just chilling here, and I want to attack the scout, but I also want to get these zebras in. So got lucky with this one. You didn't get stuck on the wood line. And goal. Let's go. So there's 2 more zebras out here. I've already clicked up to feudal, and I need to start doing stuff. And I dropped the barracks right where I'd be pushing the zebra. So, dropping a house here. I want to try to connect these 2 wood lines and, you know, go to the back of the map. And really, I want... Yeah, I'm getting messy here. I want... It's 2 that I need to keep up here. Drop another lumber camp. What was I thinking? My opponent's got all his walls ready. That's why he was so heavy in the wood. So I messed up this build order, and I think that's why this is gonna be called Leaky Walls, because I obviously was just like, shit, just put buildings down. Everything's pretty even here, except for this turf. There's some hill here, which makes putting buildings down a little awkward. Okay, so I'm housed. Yeah, I was off to a really rough start this game. I think what probably threw me off was, oh my god, what is this wall? Why am I walling like that? Wall this way, chief. Come on. So I think I've completely opted for a defensive position here because it was such a struggle for me to get walls down and my stable up. So, while kudos for better early start game scouting, this is a terrible performance by me. This is also a really weird base. That looks like a shaft. Anyway, so my opponent's completely wall. I'm not going to be able to do much with scouts at this point. Moving to golds. Okay, so there's a scout war going on out here. This guy was his starting scout, so that's why he was on a passive stance. And rather than chase this guy around, I was like, screw it. I'm gonna go try to pressure my opponent. And there's nothing here. There's nothing. Drop a house there. It wasn't house, so these guys are waiting. I seen it, so I moved away. Good. we can probably bring this to normal speed because we're probably midway through feudal age, and there'll probably be things to see now. House back here, which isn't gonna do much for me. My opponent is building up another small mass of scouts. Third one's coming. Boop, boop. Think this might be our leaky wall here. I think, yeah. So this is, remember that hill I was talking about? I think my opponent probably doesn't even see it, but I think that's a hole there. I'm trying to repair the palisade wall, which I probably should just put another house down. I have more than enough wood. Quite a bit of idle TC for both me and my opponent. I am getting these scouts out here, so we'll clean that up. At least force them away. There is a tree here, so we don't have to worry about that. What a terrible engagement. That's largely because my opponent has forging. I must have forgotten that they are the Magyars in the middle or the beginning of the match. So this scout will go down, right? Or maybe not. There we go. Another scout. So my opponent has invested a lot in scouts early game here, which is a substantial amount of food. I could easily click up right now, but I was waiting for my blacksmith. So that wasn't good. Yeah, really rough match for me. I must have been having a tough day, but I finally clicked up to Castle Age, and I'm going to be behind on my opponent. But I do have much better resources for right now. I didn't invest as heavily into feudal units. Or did I? How many? There's 3 spearmen here. I have 5. Okay, so maybe I did go pretty hard into the feudal. All right, so not great on my approach in any aspect of the beginning, but I'm putting a second stable down. I did see that I had quite a bit of gold, so I was like, you know what, I could probably pump out a double batch of knights at one time. My food eco is okay. I mean, it's 18 farms. That's pretty good. But I'm sitting on almost 400 food, or I should have over 400 food by the time I get to Castle Age at this point. I am investing into the upgrades for my cav. I dropped a gate. Opponent is booming nicely. I have 3 lumber camps. Dropping a town center as soon as I clicked up. Kind of a weird position. I'm never a fan of dropping a second TC in my own walls. I don't know, it just feels weird. Like, you're not gonna be able to put farms around this because you're already, you know, you got walls and a house here. I always like to try to opt for the outside, which is dangerous. But as you can see, I have 1 vill, which is gonna take forever to get this up. So opponent's trying to grab some attention there. I have some idle vills. Also, let's get back on track with the idle TC time. Under my opponent, so 3 knights are on their way. I have 2 of my own, which again, not a great matchup for me, considering the Magyars always get their damage upgrade as soon as they click up the next stage. Opponent's getting the height advantage on me. So I do have the numbers advantage here, but I don't have the upgrade advantage for sure. Trying to take the hill there. We have 1 knight that's in pretty rough shape, but 2 more, or 1 more, yeah, second one, unless it came out the wrong door or something, is on their way as well. 2 more of my own. So I think opting for a double stable here was the way to go. spearmen will definitely help balance out the numbers here, for sure. And yeah, a nice flow of knights still coming in here. This town center is just about up. Would have been nice to have hopped in right now to get a couple, you know, shots in on one of the knights, but it is what it is. This guy was sitting over here for a little while. He died, but was enough to slow down the knights for a little bit. And I'm dropping it. I'm dropping a town center in my own walls, and I didn't even feel good about this. I'm going to be honest with you. So cleaned that up finally. We have the military advantage, and I have some knights here. Do I take advantage of this and try to push my opponent? Well, the spearmen felt like they wanted to push. Anyway, ooh, that's a solid batch of knights there. These two spearmen could do work. Could do work, turn around. There we go. Let's go. Let's go. I did grab iron casting, so I am able to do quite a bit of damage here. I'm trying to get onto the palisade walls. Look at this positioning. 4 on a single palisade wall because we went for a double side here. I did get scared off a little bit by the spearmen, pulled them out and sent 3 in to try and do some work here. I have some trouble here at home though. This guy got in. So there's a lot going on. Town bell gets rung, which isn't going to be great for my knights. I'm not doing anything with this. I haven't set a rally point for these guys. I am getting work done under the town center though. Let's go. 13 eco kills I'm up to, which is solid and probably swings the game in my favor pretty heavily there. I'm still just trying to do something over here. My opponent is obviously distracted right now. We're both over here looking. I'm trying to take a hill. Not a great fight over here, 3-on-2 and fighting under the town center. So that advantage that I had is dwindling a little bit. Oh, still doing work on eco over here. We're up to 17 kills. I did finally address this by letting knights come back over here. I'm trying to get these vills that are underneath the town center. Just, I feel like it's demoralizing, because those vills are like, oh, let me in, let me in. And then the other vills that are inside, like, they feel safe, and they also feel terrible watching their loved ones get slaughtered right at the front door. So, anyway, I digress a little bit. Not a great exchange here. 2 attacking 1. The spearmen will level things out a little bit. And we'll clear that fight. I have a 70-30 vil lead. This was a pretty significant loss to my opponent, but even still, I would have had a substantial vil lead. 11, almost 12 minutes now of idle eco time. I'm also sitting on 3 town centers. I have 7 minutes, but that is, amongst three town centers. Over chop here. This is something I'm still pretty bad at doing. I want to get another town center down on a wood line. Weird spot for my... It's a weird spot for my opponent to approach there, but we'll take out these vills. I feel like I guess I was feeling generous with throwing the lies of vills because of the fact that I had killed so many, and this is going to end up being a problem. I think I remember what happens here. So I'm obviously looking at this. That's where most of my military is, and we're going to have a busted gate here. Obviously my TC rally point was on this gold, which leaves a feast for my opponent's knights. I have reacted. I've sent, I think I've just I'm trying to lock them in now, but that's not going to go very well. Need you guys to come back. So the numbers are going to even back out in terms of eco kills here. But I do have a pretty hefty build lead. Should be using this monk. There we go. Nice. We got ourselves a conversion. Still not building this house. There we go. All right. This line is now trying to throw down with my knights. And now that that engagement is taken care of, I want to go and see if I can pressure my opponent again. Sorry, Mufasa. Opponent has some knights, quite a bit of pikemen though. Those are going to be a problem. Opponent's dropping a third. This is, see, I'm just not a fan of this. Now this person is trying to walk around the wall to get back in. Okay. I want to put a castle down and I want to secure the middle of the map. But my opponent is, looks like apparently splitting forces here. Completely through this knight. Probably should have pulled the pikeman away to try to get that conversion. Running pretty far down here, and my opponent is getting into this wall. So a new slaughter is about to happen. There's 4 knights running around in my eco. While that's happening, all this stone got mined up. So instead of putting a house here, instead of putting a house there, I let more knights in. So this is a disaster. I have to address this. I don't have a choice. Send some people into the TC here, Tim. Come on. Yeah, this is a really bad position for me, and I am now going to have more eco deaths than my opponent, and that eco meter is starting to balance out now. I want to lock these knights in here, so I put the house down, and I'm going to put a very defensive castle. This castle does finally go up. A lot of my eco is just sitting around now. But town center's still running. My opponent's idle timer's slowly counting up. But at this point, I'm thinking Imperial Age. I want to put some other stables down here so I get... Oh, nice moonwalk. Let's go. See that again? So yeah. I'm thinking about Imp at this point, and would like to do a spam of Cav into my opponent's base in hopes that that's what causes them to tap out. So I'm going to run here and try to do as much damage as possible in preparation for that. There's the 1,000 food. I guess I'm microing and not paying, grabbing fletching. Well, at least my mentality now would be to come to Imperial Age. That's why I was dropping all these. Oh, I guess I was worried. Okay, this is why I'm dropping archery ranges, is because of the pikemen. I want to be able to deal with these and not lose all my gold units. Really, I should have just taken these knights and attacked over here. Oh, there's a town center over there. So these pikemen are going to go into their base to try and prepare for any kind of raid that's going to come over or through. My opponent doesn't have any buildings yet for Imperial Age. Did I get converted? Where was that oh, conversion was here, I think. Okay, so my opponent is rushing the gates here. as I'm rushing. Oh boy, that is terrible. Okay, I pulled away. That's still not very good though. Trying to get another conversion here. There we go. Another monk. Can I get another conversion? Okay, that's a third conversion. Let's go. I am gonna lose this. I am gonna lose that monk. There's more raids happening in my economy now. I have clicked up to Imperial Age. My opponent is dropping a super defensive castle. You couldn't get any more defensive than that. It's literally right next to the starting TC. So now that this was cleaned up in my base, I want to try and raid my opponent if possible. Grabbing archers, that seems really, really wrong. How old? This is 2 weeks old? I feel like I would have gone, should have been going skirm here. $40 eco kills for my... I'm just trying to run around here and see if I can get any loose vills. And these knights got cornered, and they're gonna get chewed apart by these pikemen. It's unfortunate. You have... Alright, that mill went down. Let's go. I've hit Imperial Age at this point, and I'm grabbing Bakken Arrow. I have one on stone. Oh, he's back over here. This is looking okay. There's no overchop currently. I'm trying to get more back on food because I want to get that spam going. I do have quite a bit of gold still going. All this gold got dried up, but I do have this gold out here and here. And down here if I need to push. So my opponent is coming back to this side of my base, it looks like. This is where the most successes has been, is this lower region. I don't know if they know about the castle. Can't get capture age to click over, but anyway, they're gonna try raiding the side of my base. They're looking over here with their fancy Magyar hussars, going a long way. So I'm assuming they want to try to. Oh boy, that's auto farm. I'm assuming they want to try pressuring this side of my base. Obviously, this has gotten my attention. All right, so now this castle is gonna do some work. These light cav don't stand a chance. This is bad news here. And they're gonna get in. So another hole knocked into the wall here. I should have just put houses and dropped them down. Also here he got in. Yeah, I actually tried to fix this too. Oh man, double raid on opposite ends. At least there's a castle here. I have to send more military back into the middle of my base. My opponent is sending more units, but I myself have said screw it. I gotta send it, or I'm gonna keep having this issue. So, trying to send the cav in here. I'm pulling these back, trying to hope the crossbowman will take care of the pikemen. My opponent is still in my base here. Not really doing anything back here. More tied up with the town center. I'm bringing forth a Treb. I'm willing to let this kind of just fall apart if I needed to, and have the pikemen deal with it if they can. Oh, I set the rally point in here, so I didn't completely give up hope on my eco then, I guess. Tries to snipe the Treb. 2 knights are on it, but they're cleaned up. This is gonna come down quick for my opponent. He's gonna need to get people on that castle to repair. These pikemen are gonna run into crossbowmen. This must have been a rally point for my opponent. A lot of the knights keep ending up over there. So this is the point of contention here. These pikemen are running around in panic, knowing that they're probably going to die soon because they're going to get overwhelmed. My opponent has run out of stone. This castle will go down. The Vills were just standing there looking at their masterpiece of work crumble as they were viciously slaughtered by cavalry. These knights will go down. Trebs remain safe. Pikemen will take care of the cavalry that I had in the base. There was a Treb that my opponent had, and their best effort is going to be to drop it and then drop the GG. Well played. So, probably closer than what it needed to be. I definitely should have dropped more houses along the walls, the palisade walls. But even that wasn't enough, right? Because that was a house there. This eventually got dealt with. So this took a lot of my attention. I had a lot of military just kind of sitting back here trying to deal with the holes in my walls. But yeah, it was a good match. Hats off to Nick Nictabis. I already said I wasn't going to try it again, and I tried it again. But hats off. Thank you. Great match. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.